ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना हृद्यन्थस्तो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भागवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
Verses 21 and 22nd.
Okay, text 21. Atrinachodhitastasmai sandade.
21, Prabhu. I'm sharing that on the screen.
Yeah, I'm reading 21.
419, right? Atrina.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading.
Sure, Prabhu.
Atrinachodhitastasmai sandade vishikham rusa so swam rupam sacha taditva tatastva antara itah swarat. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When the great sage Atri again gave directions, the son of King Prithu became very angry and placed an arrow on his bow. Upon seeing this, King Indra immediately abandoned the false dress of a sannyasi and, giving up his horse, made himself invisible. Text 22. Viraschashvam upadaya pitryagnam athav prajat tad avadyam hare rupam jagarhur jnana durlabha. Translation. Then the great hero Vijitsava, the son of King Prithu, again took the horse and returned to his father's sacrificial arena. Since that time, certain men with a poor fund of knowledge have adopted the dress of a false sannyasi. It was King Indra who introduced this. Purport. Since time immemorial, the sannyas order has carried the Tridanda. Later, Shankaracharya introduced the Ekadandi sannyas. A Tridandi sannyasi is a Vaishnava sannyasi, and an Ekadandi sannyasi is a Mayavadi sannyasi. There are many other types of sannyasis who are not approved by Vedic rituals. A type of pseudo sannyas was introduced by Indra when he tried to hide himself from the attack of Vijitsava, the great son of King Prithu. Now there are many different types of sannyasis. Some of them go naked and some of them carry a skull and trident, generally known as Kapalika. All of them were introduced under some meaningless circumstances, and those who have a poor fund of knowledge accept these false sannyasis and their pretenses, although they are not bona fide guides to spiritual advancement. At the present moment, some missionary institutions, without referring to the Vedic rituals, have introduced some sannyasis who engage in sinful activities. The sinful activities forbidden by the Shastras are illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. These so called sannyasis indulge in all these activities. They eat meat and flesh, fish, egg, and just about everything. They sometimes drink with the excuse that without alcohol, fish, and meat, it is impossible to remain in the cold countries near the Arctic zone. These sannyasis introduce all these sinful activities in the name of serving the poor, and consequently, poor animals are cut to pieces and go to the bellies of these sannyasis. As described in the following verse, such sannyasis are pakhandis. Vedic literature states that a person who puts Lord Nityananda on the level with Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma immediately becomes a pakhandi. As stated in Puranas, Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Devata Samatve Neva Viksheta Sapakhandi Bhave Dhruvam. In Kali Yuga, the Pakhandis are very prominent. However, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has tried to kill all these Pakhandis by introducing his Sankirtana movement. Those who take advantage of this Sankirtana movement of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness will be able to save themselves from the influence of these Pakhandis. That's it, Prabhu. Till verse 22.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. End of purport. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I seek the blessings of all the Sarmal Vaishnavas so that I can use today's lecture to purify myself. I'm sorry I have not prepared for it, but I'm just going to try my best to explain it. So we can see here that Lord Indra is trying to stop the 100th Ashwamedh Yajna being performed by King Prithu because Lord Indra is envious of him and he realizes that if King Prithu completes the 100th Ashwamedh Yajna, then he may become a danger to his position. Even though that was not the objective of King Prithu to perform these sacrifices, but still Indra, being insecure in his position, thought so, and he's doing various things to make this 100th sacrifice unsuccessful. Then we also see that Srila Prabhupada explains in great detail that the action of Indra of taking a form of a sannyasi so that the sons of King Prithu don't kill him is also an example of a pakhand. So pakhand means basically show, false show, right? So even though he's not a sannyasi, he wore the clothes and stuff like that. So what Prabhupada is saying, he kind of started this tradition, right? Otherwise, wearing saffron clothes, brahmachari or sannyasi, and this was very only the qualified people did. You did not do it for fashion or for serving some objective of your own. So he started this fashion, and now we see very commonly it's going on everywhere. Now, before we get into that, there is another thing about Sanatana Dharma, which I have personally thought about a lot since childhood, and I'm sure you all have thought about it. Like all of us growing up, we have seen that our Sanatana Dharma allows so many worship of so many demigods and gurus, and there are so many different ways, right? Some are Shaivites, some are Vaishnavites, some believe in the Devi Ma, and then there is Ganesh, and so on and so forth, right? You can go. Then some are Advaitwad, some are Dvaitwad, some are, so many different philosophies are here. So I used to wonder why it is like that, right? Unlike Abrahamic religions, where they have concept of only one God. They also have concept of the good God and the bad God. But here we are so liberal to the extent, like, in Hindi we say 33 crore devta, 33 crore devtas, right, are there. So then I realized later on, after coming to ISKCON and understanding our scriptures a little bit better, that this Lord is very merciful, right? Lord, Supreme Lord, He is not envious, right? He does not want that everybody worships me, all credit comes to me, and there is a bad God also, and I'm the good God. He is very liberal. He's saying if you want to worship demigods, please do. If you want to worship Guru, please do. If you want to worship me as formless, you can do that. If you want to worship me with form, you can also do it, right? So basically, based on different people, different tendencies, different sanskaras, different circumstances. He has allowed almost everything, right? So, for example, you see, we have seen a lot of times Shiva devotees, they just offer water to the Shivlinga, and they may have a small Shivling at home. They will just offer water and they will just say Om Namah Shivaya, and that's their puja. They may not know very elaborate deity worship, or follow a lot of regulative principles and all, but they think just offering water to the Shivlinga and doing pranam, and that's it, which is fine. So this is so because Supreme Lord, he allows this to happen. He is fine with that. He is not jealous or envious of anybody, right? And he is letting this happen. But our Vaishnava philosophy uh, helps us understand that who is Supreme Personality of Godhead and what is the best way to worship Him. That is the Prema Bhakti, right? That is the what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained us, and before him also a lot of Vaishnava gurus like Madhavacharya and Vallabhacharya, and all those people explained. And then our Acharyas and Guru Parampara has continued it. So the best way is to do this bhakti, prema bhakti, and by chanting of the holy name, and then by understanding that Krishna is a person, right? Krishna is not impersonal. And then by serving Krishna and developing a loving relationship, that is the best and easiest way. Now, if you want to do difficult way, then there are difficult ways also. And that we have just seen example in the Kumbh Mela, right? So all kinds of Naga sadhus and sannyasis and different people come there. And it's just because they are Naga sadhus doesn't mean they are not bona fide or they are pakhandis. No, that's not true. Most of them, I think, are legitimate. Some may be pakhandi, but the point is that that kind of practice is cannot be followed by a regular person. So, for example, if I go with my family to Kumbh Mela and my children see, they may be scared, and they may not want to follow this practice. They will say, "Hey, what is this?" Right? So, our goal is to not scare them, right? Our goal is to give them examples that they can follow. So that practice might work for those sadhus. Who knows what situation they came from? Who knows what was their desire? But it can work for them. But for a common man to set an example how to worship Supreme Lord, how to progress in spiritual life, those examples may not be for everyone, right? So that is the problem with that. So all these, or those who do very difficult austerity, like somebody has held his hand up for like hundreds of years, sorry, not hundreds, many years, and then his hand has become permanently like up, So normal people cannot do those kind of things. And unfortunately, this serves as a distraction, this only serves to develop aversion, right? So the common people or the modern people, they are not able to relate to it. And then they try to brand the whole Sanatan Dharma or whole thing as like, oh, this is Pakhandi, we are so backward, and why we do this. But in the name of modernity, they don't have an alternative. So, okay, so how will you do it? So they don't know. And because our religion is so liberal, we do not make like you follow certain rituals or certain things. We are very liberal. Okay, whatever way you want to worship, you can worship. So in the name of it, people don't end up worshiping at all, right? They almost become atheists, right? So that is the problem, and that is where I think ISKCON philosophy and Vaishnava philosophy in general plays a great role, where it provides you a very structured framework of how you can lead your day-to-day practical life. So, for example, you're supposed to rise early, you are supposed to chant, and then we do not put any conditions like you have to take bath or you have to have done this or that. So chanting holy name, you can chant in any conditions, right? We have example of Jayapataka Swami who used to chant in a bathroom in Russia because the Russians didn't like seeing anybody chant. This is back in the days. I don't know exactly when, but maybe in 80s. So In order to chant, he would lock himself in the bathroom of a train and there chant. So chanting of the holy name, we do not put any conditions. And then all we need is you should read Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or any other scriptures. And then, if possible, offer prasadam, right, to Lord. I mean, you are eating, you are cooking for yourself, you might as well. And then these very simple things, right? There are no complex mantras or there are no complex procedures that you have to perform and the rules and regulations. So we have made it very simple, very easy to follow, very practical. And the most important aspect is developing a loving relationship with Krishna. So the whole idea behind deity worship or treating Krishna as a person is that you develop that connection with that person. I mean, if there is no personality, then how? What is the question of building a connection or love? So when we offer, we offer with love to Krishna prasadam. When we sing for him, we sing for his pleasure, right? So by doing these practical activities, you develop a connection with the deities, right? And you treat Krishna as a person so that it becomes much more relatable. I used to wonder in some religions, it is not allowed to have any picture of God, right? Even like that may be considered a blasphemy. So I used to think, right? So for example, let's say I'm in love with a girl and but I'm not allowed to have a picture of her. I'm not allowed to see her. I'm not even allowed to imagine how she looks like. So how difficult it would be for me to develop a relationship with it. Like I can love, but I cannot imagine, I cannot have a picture, I cannot draw. So that makes it very difficult. So that is why I think we are very fortunate to be in this movement and our acharyas having studied everything, all the Vedanta philosophies and all the different branches of Sanatana Dharma has given us this extract, this summary that okay, as long as you chant, as long as you follow for regulative principles, as long as you do some activities, some seva to build connection with the Lord, then that's all you have to do. You do not have to do anything else. So I feel very lucky and I feel very fortunate that we are here together and able to do this. And we do not have to follow any extreme examples that we see, and we do not even have to do any extreme endeavor. I think this is the best path. And as long as we are able to serve the Vaishnavas and Guru and Gauranga, I think our life is successful. So with this, I would like to end. Please forgive me for any shortcomings or sharing my own point of view. And that's it. Hare Krishna. Vancha Kalpatarubhya.